Miss USA is over, and let me tell you one thing, Savannah Miles from Georgia is not the only one who was robbed.
Yeah.
I couldn't earnestly discuss Miss USA 2025 without talking about the live stream saga, the cost of the live streams versus the actual quality of the live streams. These were the actual prices for watching each live stream, and as you can see, it changed from day to day. So if you pre-purchased the stream, then it would be one price, and then if you purchased it the day of, the price would go up significantly. But there was also a sort of special offer going on where you could pay $69.99 to watch all 5 live streams. They say this is a special offer, but it works out at around 1,200 South African Rand, and the streams were only available through the Queen Beauty Network, whose founder is now in charge of Miss USA as well. And let me tell you something, they were very strict about this because I could hardly find anything else about Miss USA online, just little snippets here and there, but definitely not full streams uploaded. Even days after the costume competition or the prelims, they were removed with quickness. And there were some reasons and excuses for these high prices allegedly, and the main excuse seems to be that there was a very last minute sort of change in ownership at Miss USA this year. We all know that Miss USA has been going through it during the Layla Rose era, and now Tom Brodeur obviously has taken over Miss USA, and allegedly because of this quick change they had to suddenly organize the whole pageant, and there was allegedly no time to secure any sponsors, which fair enough, I suppose, but did the prices need to be so high? That's the question. I wouldn't have really minded paying, but not more than like $5 per stream. The prices are in fact extreme, and I think that I'm not alone in that sentiment. Someone also said that allegedly a certain percentage of the profit of the live stream sales will go to earthquake relief in the Philippines, and let me just say, I'll believe that when I see concrete, irrefutable proof that a large percentage of the profits, not 0.003%, has gone to help earthquake victims. Talk is cheap, show me the wire transfer. Now, of course, for these exorbitant prices, we must assume that they were putting on the best show ever. Apparently not. There were sound issues. There were times where you could hear the producers talking and a lot of backstage noise on the stream, and the lighting. Loads of people were complaining that the stage was very, very dark. And of course, these would be forgivable issues if you didn't have to pay the monetary equivalent of your car insurance per month to watch. And so with complaining about the financial cost of Miss USA 2025 out of the way, let's talk about the emotional cost of Miss USA 2025, which was no less traumatic. For the finals, according to Lucas from Rhode to Miss USA, which of course is iconic, the judges this year were not up to scratch, and I will be adding little clips from his post-finals live stream here and there just because he's so knowledgeable in the Miss USA system, and I really respect his opinions when it comes to Miss USA.
Someone tell Tom to hire better judges next year. I agree. Like, to me, this was by far the worst judging panel in history. I'm so sorry to say that, but it was. That's what happens when you don't have pageant people related. You know, like Nia was there, but the other people, like, who are they? You know? So I just felt weird. This judging panel was like the worst by far. Had girls with amazing body and amazing swimsuit performance that didn't make top 10, and girls with amazing gowns that didn't advance into the top 5.
So the judging panel did consist of Nia Sanchez, who of course was the first runner-up at Miss Universe 2014. So she was very deserving of sitting on that judging panel. But then there was also Sasha Farber and Jade Roper Tolbert, who respectively appeared on The Bachelor and Dancing with the Stars. What does this have to do with pageantry, you may ask? I also ask. I'm not the person to ask because I honestly do not know. And then there was also Hannah Edwards and Kenneth Barles, who is a model scout and a fashion designer respectively, which I suppose could make sense for a pageant judging panel if you like close your one eye and tilt your head a little bit and close your other eye, yeah, then that makes sense. But realistically now, Nia Sanchez is really the only one on this entire judging panel who has in-depth knowledge of pageantry. So let's talk about the top 20. I'm not gonna go through the whole entire list of who actually made the top 20. I got 12 out of 20 correct, which I don't think is that bad. I did post my final prediction yesterday. But for me, what is interesting about the top 20 is not who made it, but who didn't make it. So if I have to go through the candidates who didn't make it from most shocking to least shocking, I would say California, Arizona, Utah, Wyoming, New York, Virginia, and Colorado. And most people were shocked about California not making it. Me especially, she was my second runner-up. I was expecting her to be there in the top 20 and she just wasn't there, which is insane to me. And I think that California's non-placement in the top 20 was honestly an early predictor of the tomfoolery that would follow with the placements at Miss USA this year. So the top 20 obviously did their thing in swimsuits in order to progress to the top 10. And the top 10, guys, let me just tell you, I only got 3 out of 10 of the top 10 correctly, which is crazy to me because I was so steadfast in my top 10 yesterday. The ones who didn't go on to be in the top 10 that were by far the most shocking and perplexing was Maine and Louisiana. And I'm telling you, it's not just a me thing. People were perplexed. Maine especially, I think in my opinion, definitely deserved a spot in the top 10, and it is insane that she didn't get in. And I think it was at this point where the people were like starting to question the validity of these judges. Were these people drug tested before sitting on the panel? I'm just making sure. And of course, as usual at Miss USA and also at Miss Universe and stuff, it is just the top 10 that gets to do gown. And so for the gown performances, Georgia was by far the favorite and the best. And I am not kidding when I say all public opinion points to Georgia being by far the best in evening gown. Moving into top 5, everyone was expecting Georgia to be there. And of course, I was expecting Georgia to be there. Georgia is my predicted winner, for crying out loud, you know. I got 1 out of 5 of the top 5, and it wasn't Georgia. It wasn't Georgia! The only person in the top 5 who was in my predicted top 5 was Nevada. I am perplexed at the fact that Georgia wasn't in the top 5, just because I think anyone with eyes, even my messed up vision, could see that Georgia deserved a spot in the top 5. Hell, even Stevie Wonder could see that Georgia deserved a spot in the top 5. And so honestly, I just don't know what to make of this. And this is where I start to blame the judges, because what else can you blame if not people who have the inability to recognize greatness right in front of them?
I still can't believe Georgia didn't make top 5. She was by far the best evening gown.
And of course, during top 5 Q&A, as you guys might have already seen, New Jersey was definitely the standout candidate during top 5 Q&A. She was definitely the star, and it was expected that her performance in the top 5 Q&A was enough to secure her the win for the evening. And unfortunately, I cannot play her Q&A here because Miss USA will come for the few pennies that I make from this video by copyright striking me. Like I said before, they have been like bloodhounds on people re-uploading content from the stream. But so anyway, all I want you to know before we talk about the final results is that New Jersey was beautiful in final Q&A.
You know, like, in my opinion, I think New Jersey, she was not only talking about her platform, but she was also talking about the question. So I think it was a mix of both, and that's why she won to me.
The fourth runner-up, which is a bit of a shocking placement, was Nevada. Many people say that she and New Jersey should have been top two.
Q&A was always the most important thing. And if you're gonna say who killed Q&A, it was New Jersey, first of all, and then Nevada, period. And then you can rank the other girls as you want it.
And I do sort of agree. I did love Nevada. I think if anything, her lowest placement should have been like second or third runner-up, but fourth is just a little bit too low compared to the rest of the women who placed above her. Third runner-up was Texas, second was Oregon, and so it ended up being between New Jersey and Nebraska. And like I said, after final Q&A, everyone pretty much felt like New Jersey deserved this win, but it ended up being the case that Nebraska won Miss USA 2025 and will go to Miss Universe like, I don't know, tomorrow or what. Miss Universe is happening on the 21st of November, okay? Do you know that you have 5 seconds? And Audrey was actually crowned as Miss USA 2025 by our reigning Miss Universe, Victoria Telvik from Denmark. And Miss USA 2024 wasn't there. She did announce on her Instagram a couple of hours before Miss USA was set to take place that she wasn't going to be there. She took the decision not to be there. It was a personal decision basically, but she did talk about finishing her year with integrity and dignity and stuff like that. I'm paraphrasing, but that was the vibes. And I just wondered, like, what is the beef between Alma Cooper and this new Miss USA organization? Because she was crowned Miss USA when Layla Rose was still in charge, and now new people took over Miss USA. What's the friction there? I'm wondering. If you know, let us know. Nebraska was my number 15, and honestly good for her for winning Miss USA. You know, I'm Namibian / South African, so it doesn't make me too emotional when the girl I'm standing doesn't win at the end of the day, although Georgia was so robbed. Honestly, we all have our favorites, but we don't know what happened during the closed door interviews and behind the scenes. Nebraska might have made some very good impression on the judges, and although judges aren't supposed to take their opinions of candidates from one segment to another, I do feel like top 5 Q&A, you should only consider how the person did in Q&A, you know, to determine who's going to win. But obviously we're all human, and perhaps she made a very, very good impression in the private interviews and things like that in order to stay top of mind for the judges. The judges are responsible for the results. The contestants can only do so much. Miss USA's new era under Tom Rodeer is definitely off to a rocky start. The judges chosen, with the exception of Nia, of course, I feel like should have been more knowledgeable about pageantry. I feel like some of the selections were very random, especially the reality show contestants. And really, to be honest, for all of the judges besides Nia, what knowledge do reality show contestants and modeling scouts and fashion designers really have when it comes to selecting the next Miss Universe? Because that's basically their job. Miss USA, you're not selecting just the next Miss USA. You're selecting a woman to go and potentially win Miss Universe. And so I feel like the judges weren't necessarily equipped, and that's also a lot of the times the problem in pageantry where I live as well, because a lot of the times they will just look at who their main sponsors are and just tell those companies, oh, just send whoever you like and we'll put them on the judging panel. you know, as a thank you. And just like, you are so working against your own interest, but okay. Anyway, I didn't go really into depth about Miss USA. I just touched on what I thought was the most interesting points. It's really a shallow dive of Miss USA 2025. More than anything, I feel just as robbed as Georgia. I'm hoping things will change, because obviously things haven't been going so well with Miss USA, and everyone has been super excited for this new era and for someone who's actually passionate about pageantry like Tom Brodier, who started the Queen Beauty Network. Everybody's been super excited that someone like that has taken over Miss USA, but now I'm just like, oof, this man is trying to take our money. And maybe it's just this year, maybe we should give them the benefit of the doubt, but yo, those prices were shocking. Anyway guys, let me know what you think about all of this. I'd love to know, and good luck to Audrey for Miss Universe. I hope you do well. Anyway, enough of me talking. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you haven't already, please subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!